Hi, in this segment, we join forces today on Mission Critical with the Live Events Coalition and speaking with its president, Nancy Shaefer. If there's one thing we have learned at my company, American Guest, as a worldwide DMC for corporations and associations, is that we need each other now more than ever. Mission Critical, American Guest, and the Live Events Coalition are committed to getting the live events industry and all of its workforce back to where it was. In this spot, we had planned for Helen Stoddard to join us, but unfortunately she had a last-minute conflict. We're all too familiar with the last-minute changes here in 2020. We hope that you can join us on a future episode of Mission Critical. Nancy Shaefer is the founder and CEO of Bravo Events, a planning firm based in Washington, D.C. Like American Guest and many of us in this industry, she's pivoted in 2020. But even more so, she's heading up an industry-wide effort to get Congress's help for the live events industry. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. It's truly a pleasure to be here.
And thank you for doing it at the last minute.
Right. I hope I don't disappoint anybody that I'm not going to talk about Twitter.
No, we're not going to touch that at all. So let's go back and focus on the things that we can control and the things we can share with everybody. So can you just begin with and tell us how the organization of Live Events Coalition came together?
Absolutely. 2020, as you mentioned, is one of the strangest years that I have ever been alive. And as we all know, in March, our worlds changed unexpectedly, at no fault of our own. They just changed and the lights went off. Isaac Rothwell, who is the founder of the Live Events Coalition and the executive vice president on my board, and several of his colleagues were frustrated, scared, and didn't know what to do. So they put a petition up on change.org. And he went to sleep and said, okay, I feel better. It's off my chest. I'm good. Nothing will happen. And he woke up the next day and there were 10,000 signatures. If you
Oh my gosh, 10,000.
Yes.
Wow.
Today, there are close to 500,000.
Wow.
I will ask you if you are interested in supporting the Live Events Coalition, that later on in this conversation, I'll give you the direction, and don't go to change.org for it.
Yep. Exactly.
Long story.
Yes.
But what also began to happen was people began to reach out to him and say, I'm in the same boat. What do I do? How can I help? And this is where I joke. None of us would really start a business without a business plan. Most of us probably wouldn't start a business without at least knowing our colleagues and what is going to be our team. The Live Events Coalition was started without a business plan. We had a mission with a group of strangers trying desperately to figure out what we could do to be the voice of the live events industry. It's 12 million people, and we generate $1.4 trillion worth of GDP.
We did very much the same thing here over at Mission Critical, exactly how we felt. We didn't know all each other, and we said, we need to do something, because we said, a lot of people are saying, we're here with you, but the words weren't bringing action, and we needed to bring action, and that's how we came about. So glad to have you on board and joining forces here today. Where do the lobbying efforts stand as of today for the Live Events Coalition?
So my job as the president sometimes is probably, I think, the hardest, even though everybody else does a whole lot of the work. And that's because I get to tell people on a regular basis pretty much what they hear, which is our politicians don't seem to understand what is going on in America. They believe that they do. They talk about it. They are politicking on it. They're running for re-election. And I will tell you that unless they pass a Restart Act, which is a bill that was introduced by Senators Bennett and Young, that we're in big trouble. So the good news is that the one thing we have been able to do is get our elected officials to understand that the live events industry is not hospitality. And that's nothing against brothers and sisters who are restaurants or hotels or convention centers. But our ecosystem is massive. And we consider live events anything that you buy a ticket for, you're given a ticket, you're invited to, or your boss tells you you have to go. That's
Right.
what live events. Right.
Yep.
Goes from concerts
Yeah,
to trade shows
that's
to
right.
bar mitzvahs to galas.
You name
And
it, it's everything. Yep.
absolutely. And people didn't really understand that. They're like, no, 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 we're talking about you. It's okay. We're going to fix the
Right.
restaurants. And we're like, we're not the
No,
restaurants.
that's not restaurants. That's right.
So it's taken a
Right.
long time. And, it's challenging. It gets splintered. So you have in our industry, and that's part of it, our industry was very, very splintered in our verticals. And we were all moving along
Right.
happily. So the good news
So,
is that they understand it now, that we are live events
right.
and we're very hurt and what our economic impact is.
So I saw a recent posting, and I think it's going to be very hard for a lot of people in this industry, and as you say, tourism and hospitality, or across all platforms and industries to see. Can you tell me what the outlook is if nothing is done in the next 60 days?
Sadly, I can't. Back in late September, we launched a survey. It went to 7,000 people, and we got 1,200 responses. And out of those responses, if there is no relief passed by the end of this month, by
Right. So,
January,
yeah. Right.
50 to 60% of live event businesses close permanently.
Hmm. And I think we need to say that again, not just stop, closed permanently. And what
Permanently.
that means is more people on unemployment, more people in the industry going, now what do I do? And we can't just restart that thing again. It's not like it's just, oh, we'll just hire them back. They're going to have to go other places, and they're going to, during the holidays, and it already in 8 months, and then it'll be 10 months at that point. We need to do something, and we need to do it now. Well, I'm happy to say, though, that we have the hashtag Save the Meetings and the Live Events Coalition. You talked about a little bit earlier about things people can do. What else in our audience, can our audience do to participate and help mission critical like us and yourselves at the Live Events Coalition, from their efforts?
All right. So the first one is you vote. And if you don't vote, you can't complain. So you vote.
Exactly.
I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you where to vote. I'm
Right.
just
Yep.
telling you to vote.
Vote. Right.
And because it is our only voice at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The other way is we would love for anybody and everybody to join us in our efforts. We are a 501c6. We are a self-funded organization. It is hard when you are asking those who are in the same position to help financially,
Mm-hmm.
but it is critical. It's how we pay for our lobbying firm. And as a advocacy organization, that's the most important. So you can go to liveeventscoalition.org. You'll see a join
Right.
button. We would love for you to join. And also, if you want to volunteer, we're looking for people who have any and all types of experience. And we have lots of committees, from membership and government affairs to communications and education and everything in between. We need to be one voice. So we would
Right.
welcome any and everybody to join us.
Well, thank you. And as I spoke to a little bit earlier, I've learned a lot in this, past 8 months or 9 months, whatever it is now, and that while we're all working independently prior to March, we are all working collectively. I mean, competitors, people, hotels, event companies, production companies, venues, everybody is in the same thing, saying, how do we help each other? Because if one wins, we all win. If one starts hiring and people start doing events, and we can do anything we can do to save them, it supports everybody else. It's a trickle down effect. So we need to collectively do that. While it is a stark number, seeing 60 to 70% could close in the 60, in the next 60 days, I am hopeful. And that's what I have. I have hope. And by doing what we're doing here at Mission Critical, and what you're doing at the Live Events Coalition, and what we're doing here today, I hope that has an impact. And we can take even this and support each other and get Congress going and get whatever we can to support this workforce, because there's a lot of people that do not have enough to put food on the table. And I hate to say it, but it's true. And I really appreciate you coming on board today to share that message, joining forces with us today, and hope that this message can get out and come, next week, next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when they vote, that it matters and it's shown. So Nancy, thank you so much. Thank you for your efforts. Please tell everyone at the Live Events Coalition, keep up the good fight. We're running right alongside you, and we'll help and support you any way we can. And I thank you again.
I want to thank you for this opportunity. I also want to say one last thing to your viewers.
Sure, please, please.
Reach out. If you think everybody's okay, we're not. And so pick up the phone, call someone you haven't spoken to in a really long time and just say, hey, are you okay? Do you need a virtual hug? Right now, we have to remember we're not alone. And that takes that outward phone call. Some of these conversations aren't easy, but it's really, really important to support one another and reach out. And then the other hashtag we have is We Are Events, We Vote.
Nancy, you said it well. I've been doing that globally. Our clients are all across the globe, and realize that even though we're in the United States, everybody's having the same challenge. So that reaching out, while it doesn't help fix the situation, it knows that, hey, there's nothing that we did that caused this, but we can do things to fix it. So as you said, reach out, virtual hug, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you again for joining us. And like you said, hopefully come Tuesday with the votes, things can matter and things can change. And I have hope, and hope that doesn't happen. So I wish you adieu. Thank you again. I appreciate your time here on Mission Critical.
And thank you. Anything I can do for anybody, I'm here.
04 and King with a go.